Everybody has been on that vacation that they will never forget and continue to talk about as if it happened yesterday. Throughout my life, I've been fortunate enough to travel to a number of very cool places. By doing so, I was exposed to numerous cultures which allowed me to be open-minded and accepting at a very young age. In April of 1997, I went on a family trip to the United Kingdom with my father, mother, and older sister. The United Kingdom consists of England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and my father's a huge history buff, and our ancestors are predominantly English, so the United Kingdom was the perfect destination to satisfy both of these. At the time, my family was living right outside of Washington, D.C. Our flight departed from Dulles Airport. It took about 9 hours to fly to Heathrow Airport in London. I can't tell you how excited my sister and I were. My parents had been to England and several other countries before, but I had no idea what to expect. I will never forget arriving in Heathrow. The airport was absolutely enormous. While in London, I went to the Tower of London, Westminster Abbey, Buckingham Palace, and other famous landmarks such as Big Ben and Houses of Parliament. Riding the London Underground was quite an experience. Being a kid from the suburbs, I never experienced any kind of public transit, and the Underground is so enormous. After our stay in London, we went to Stratford-upon-Avon, a popular tourist destination owing its status as the birthplace of William Shakespeare. Our next stop was Warwick Castle, built by William the Conqueror in 1098. I will never forget touring the castle and how blown away I was by the fact that it was 900 years old and still standing. From Stratford-upon-Avon, we took the train through the Welsh countryside to the coast where my family and I were set to take a ferry to Ireland. I remember all the little villages and rolling hills. I had never seen anything like it in my entire life. The scenery was so beautiful, it was such a surreal experience. The ferry ride to Ireland took about 4 hours. The boat was the size of a small cruise ship, complete with restaurants, bars, arcades, and lounge areas. The ferry docked in Dublin, where we stayed for a night before departing for Edinburgh, Scotland. The following morning, we took a small prop plane to Edinburgh. That prop plane got the best of me. I got so sick because it was such a shaky ride. This memory will always stick with me. It makes me laugh to this day. This is by far one of my favorite cities. Edinburgh is the capital of Scotland and home to Edinburgh Castle, one of the most picturesque structures I've ever seen. It is visible from anywhere in the city and is the focal point of the skyline. Our second day in Edinburgh and last day in the UK happened to be Easter Sunday. I remember going to an old Lutheran church with a very traditional service. This will always stick out in my mind. It was so peaceful and very interesting to go to a church and celebrate a holiday in another country. It was a great way to finish the trip. This trip had so many positive effects on me. It was eye-opening, and seeing all those historic landmarks and places at such a young age was unreal. I love the feeling of discovery and the happiness it instilled in me. My father had such a deep passion for history, it carried over to me when I was little. From that point on, I had such a thirst for knowledge and learning new things. Seeing so many different types of people and cultures, but knowing we all share a common bond to a certain degree is a very comforting feeling. Becoming exposed to travel at such a young age let me know what to expect when going on future trips. I have been all over the United Kingdom, Caribbean, U.S. Virgin Islands, Spain, and France. You gain a little bit of knowledge each time you travel, and how you apply that to your daily life is very important. You seem to have more of a connection with others who have traveled as well. In conclusion, I've been to numerous places in the world. Some more exotic than others, but the first overseas trip I took with my family when I was a child has always stuck with me. Traveling allowed me to become more accepting and a much happier person because I know there is so much out there. So, what trip have you taken that is unforgettable, and what was its lasting effect on you?